So are the Democrats really on board? Like the president said earlier, I spoke with Senator Bob Casey, the Democratic ranking member of the Senate Finance Committee, about where he stands.
It was a good meeting to have members of the Finance Committee around one table, Democrats and Republicans, talking about tax reform. It was a very civil meeting, a good engagement on a number of issues, but it was clear to me by the end of the meeting there's still a huge impediment in the way of getting a bipartisan tax reform bill. And there are basically two parts to it. One is the process and how you arrive at that. Up to this point, it's been a very partisan process driven only by Republicans who want to have a vote that gets them to 50 votes or 51 votes, thereby kind of stiff-arming Democrats. So that's the process problem. But substantively, there are some major challenges, and for me, some concerns that I have about the proposal. And this is a unified Republican proposal. Number one is, this is, so far at least, a huge giveaway to the rich. There's no question about that. The top 1%, just in year one, 2018, would get a $146,000 tax cut. If you're in the top 0.1% of income earners, you get a tax cut of $737,000. So that giveaway to the top makes no sense when we're trying to incentivize the creation of jobs, trying to raise wages by giving the middle class a huge tax cut instead of a giveaway to the top. Secondly, the cuts to Medicare and Medicaid in the budget, the bill we're working on and voting on now, the cuts to Medicaid of $1.5 trillion to pay for those tax cuts in a future tax reform bill make no sense at all, and I think are actually obscene cuts to very important programs.
But as you mentioned, the bottom line is that the GOP does not necessarily need the votes from the Democrats. So how are you trying to influence the tax debate?
Well, we have to keep making the argument that if we want to grow the economy, we've got to make an investment in the middle class. That's the way you create jobs and grow the economy. I think we've had a lot of history under Republican presidents with Republican members of Congress supporting tax cuts for the rich based upon the old trickle-down theory. It hasn't worked, so I think we need a new approach, which is focus on the middle class, give a much more generous middle class tax cut, and grow the economy that way.